Well, thankfully, the misery of what was happening in the Allianz Arena on Friday night hasn't quite disappeared. The pain's still there for a lot of Scotland fans. And remember, by the way, they've shelled out a lot of money. So they didn't actually shell out that money to wear a Scotland strip, sing Flower of Scotland, and then suddenly watch their team get battered 5-1 without really laying a glove on Germany. So the criticism has been quick. And again, the criticism towards the players and what they produced, I think, is fair criticism. The manager got a little bit prickly in the press conferences, but I think even Steve Clarke knows that, from his press conference yesterday, the players have got to step up, stop talking, and get on the pitch and produce a performance against Switzerland that everybody can be proud of.
Did you bump into a few Scotland fans on the journey up to Cologne from Munich? Is there a bit of optimism now heading into this game, or is it maybe still a bit dampened after that 5-1 defeat?
Well, I think the word is disappointed. But other than that, the Scotland fans have, they've received praise from the police in Munich because of their conduct and their behaviour. Because I think a lot of pubs will realise that they've made huge profits over a 3 to 4 day period. They drank a lot, they sang a lot, and they mixed well with the German fans, and they were absolutely fantastic, a credit. And I thought, inside the stadium, I thought they deserved special mention for the respect they showed towards the German national anthem. That said, since then, I've been speaking to a lot of the Scotland fans. Yes, disappointed about the performance, but now looking and realising exactly what Steve Clarke said. The Germans are a class above. This is the battle now. This was always the battle to try and get the 4 points. Is it 3 points against Switzerland, or is it the 3 points they can get against Hungary? Can they get a draw somewhere? Could we get 2 wins? My gut feeling on this is the biggest hurdle for us is coming on Wednesday night against the Swiss, because I think they're a good outfit. I think they're going to cause us problems, and I think that's the biggest hurdle. If we get a point out of that game and can go into the Hungary game, Hungary, I think, are a level below Switzerland. I think we could get a win against them. But as ever with Scotland, it's biting your nails stuff, Patrick.
Interesting what you're saying there, Peter. Obviously, Steve Clarke, he was much more buoyant mood yesterday. Now, we might only be looking to get a point out of that game against the Swiss. Do you think he'll be setting up to go and try and get the 3 and go all out that we didn't see against Germany?
Yeah, absolutely, Blair. They've got to go on the front foot. I don't know about, and listen, you've got the best man there ever to comment on it. Alan Rough played at, World Cups and played against teams that they weren't expected to win against. And then when you are on the back foot trying to get points, you have to then be positive. You have to then have players who are going to step up to the plate, who want the ball, who want to move forward and pass. We I think, managed in the Allianz Arena on Friday night. After about 35 minutes, we managed our first passage of play with 4 or 5 passes. Now, that's how poor we were. This time around, I think the midfield have got to step up. The back line somehow has got to keep it tight. And then we've got to get service to whoever plays up front. Shea Adams, I think, is going to be the man who'll get the nod again for a certain period of the game. But we've got to go on the front foot. The Swiss are not as good as the Germans, but they are a good outfit, and they've got 4 or 5 top drawer players who are playing at top clubs, and they will cause us problems. And you only have to look at some of the players: Akanji at Man City, Scher at Newcastle. You've got Ndoye. You've also got Granit Xhaka, who's had a great season at Bayer Leverkusen. And they've got Duah up front, who is a quick centre forward who plays off the shoulder. So I think Scotland have got to try and high press, work hard, try and cause Switzerland problems. But as Ruffy all know, when you're coming off the back of a really difficult result, all the teams got to stick together, block out the noise, and then take the bull by the horns and have a go.
You mentioned Shea Adams. He's your position to start up top. Do you think, Steve Clarke, it's just tactical, or would you like to see a few personnel changes in the squad for Switzerland?
Well, it's interesting. I think if the biggest one we're all talking about is who's going to play at right back. Anthony Ralston didn't have a great game. Does he go for a James Forrest out on that right side? Does he switch Kieran Tierney to the right flank? I know Kieran Tierney hates playing in that right back role, or even right full back. So he's got a dilemma. Does he put Forrest in there, maybe look for him in an attacking sense, but hope he can get back and help that back three? It will be a back five at times. We know that. Grant Hanley, I think, will come in for obviously the suspended Ryan Porteous. So he's got big decisions to make. The reason why I think Shea Adams will get the nod, he needs players who are going to work. He needs players that's going to close down the Swiss side so that they don't get an easy out from the back. So that's why I'm always of the opinion that Lawrence Shankland is not that type of player. He will try and bring him on, maybe 20 minutes to go to try and maybe get something in the box for Shankland. Shankland's not one of those players who, he's not a Frank McAvaney from the old days who'd chase an empty bag in a windy day. His work rate's not like that. That's not the type of player he is.
Thanks, Peter, for joining us over there in Cologne. Head out